I don't know what I was expecting this comment section to be, but it wasn't this. A guy once approached me in a laundromat and asked if he could buy my fingernails. Mine are real. I said no. He asked again and I walked away. 2 days later, his face was on the news. He had strangled a female in an alley after she rejected his offer to buy her fingernails. What? I work in a doctor's office. We take photos of our patients for their chart. A patient came in for an appointment and her husband came with her. As they were taking her picture, he said, "Are you sure you don't want mine? I'm gonna be famous." About 3 days later, he murdered his wife. Was at my bestie's in 2014-ish. Her dad told us to stay inside because the guy coming over was a creep. It was for work. He's a mechanic. We didn't listen. We came out and the guy was staring at us. We got in so much trouble. It was James Worley. I was walking to my car coming home from a bar. It was dark and all of a sudden I see a group of men running towards me and acting like they knew me. Then I see a couple of them going behind me. I turned around and they were holding a guy that had been following me and they told me to get in my car immediately and to drive off. I hadn't seen that man following me. When I looked at him, he looked like the devil. I remembered seeing him at the bar and acting weird. Those guys saved me. Thank God for those men. Oh my God. My mom used to be a corrections officer and she would let me come into the commons area and color sometimes, and I would chat with the inmates and make friends. There was a little old lady that would always come sit near me but not speak to me, and one day I asked my mom why such a quiet old lady would be in jail. Turns out it was Blanche Taylor Moore, the Black Widow killer. Oh my God, wait, your mom was just letting you hang out with the Black Widow killer? My daughter's grandma used to work with Ted Bundy. They worked graveyard and he would walk her to her car every morning after work. My mom used to live in California in the 80s. Well, she was coming home from work one night and could hear that someone was following her, so she looked back, then she ran as fast as she could and hid. She ended up giving a description of the guy. Richard Ramirez. New hire at work. Quiet, polite, but gave off weird vibes. One day a bunch of cops storm in and arrest him. Turned out he murdered his friend the night before and showed up to work like it was just another day. What? For his senior internship, my dad's friend said he wanted to work with a coroner. They sent him to Jeffrey Dahmer's parents' house to help excavate the victims' bodies out of the front yard. What the was his major? Brian Kohlberger lived across the street from me. Enough said. Yeah. I got fired from my in-home daycare because I would cry anytime the lady would pick me up. She thought I hated her and couldn't get any peace. A few years later, she killed her husband. My parents always talk about how it was a sense of danger and not a coincidence. I took a customer service call and asked the man to spell his name. He used serial killer and evil words to describe each letter. Everyone told me in high school to be careful being friends with this one girl. I thought everyone was just being mean and judgmental, seeing as though she wasn't always dressed nice. Sometimes she smelled, she just seemed to be going through a lot. I still befriended her, but then quickly started noticing she was in fact a little crazy. She made a doll and put my picture on the face of the doll. Even her mother warned me about her daughter. When the girl overheard her mother warning her, she began screaming and foaming at the mouth. I ran out of the house scared, and when I turned back, I saw her stabbing her mom. I called the police in nearby neighbor's house. Her mom survived but has one eye and scars all over her face and neck. The girl is still in jail today. I'm sorry, what? I was a kid at a hotel in Lake Tahoe swimming with my sister and mom. Carrie Strainer was watching us. My mom said she looked the devil in the eyes when they locked eyes. We went and got my dad immediately. The next day he killed 2 little girls and the mother. He posed as the maintenance man. Oh my God. My fiance's parents were clowns with John Wayne Gacy. Ugh. The judge who married us went to law school with Ted Bundy. She said he rarely showed up to class, and when he did, he seemed like a total bonehead. I went to high school with this kid. He was actually in my math class and was super friendly. After we graduated, he asked to hang out at a local park. The vibe was totally off, so I declined. The next day, he got arrested for unaliving an elderly woman in our town. I'll never doubt my intuition. Oh my God. My mom's old best friend was home alone one night and she heard noises in her room. Someone broke in. She was frantic and didn't know what to do. She had these very long, heavy curtains and she hid behind those, holding her breath. The intruder didn't find her and she made it out alive. The intruder was Richard Ramirez. This guy. When I worked the front desk at a hotel, the overnight security guard came to pick up his check and asked us all if we'd seen Melissa, his ex. We said we hadn't. She hadn't worked there in 5 years. Turns out he murdered her the day before and was trying to make it look like she had run off. My friend went out with a nurse from a nursing home. 20 years later, she saw him on the news. His roommate called the police because he found a barrel behind the house they were renting and it was making a weird noise. Turns out Nurse Dude's grandma was in the barrel. She died of natural causes at home and he found her. He stuffed her in the barrel and told her friend she was visiting family. She had been giving him money and paying his bills. He didn't report her death so he could still collect her social security checks. What the f***? Worked on 6th in Congress in Austin. Halloween day, left the office early, didn't want to be around 6th on that day. Rough looking guy was panhandling. Next day on the 6 o'clock news shows the same guy was arrested covered in blood because he had killed a girl on Halloween. Terrifying. I got weird vibes from my history teacher in college who would randomly yell at me and others for no reason and accuse us of random stuff. Mr. Gutting. After I graduated, I saw a news story about how he stabbed the history dean to death in his home. The last name's a little ironic. This is why you always listen to your intuition.